Hi everyone, this is a very quick tutorial on how to use GIMP, which is an art program, to create a YouTube channel art banner. One of the things I found while setting up my YouTube channel and going through some of the work that Tim Schmoyer suggests in his 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel book is that you need to have quite a lot of artwork. Now, I'm no artist, and so I had to find out really easy ways of doing things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you really quickly how to use GIMP to create a YouTube channel art. I like to call it the banner. So let me first show you where you need to go to get GIMP from. Go to gimp.org/downloads and click here, and this takes you to the Windows download. Right, you need to make sure you choosing the Windows one. If you want Linux or OS X, you need to make sure you choose the different option up the top here. Okay, so this will give you a download link to GIMP, and then when you've downloaded it, just run the executable, install it. It'll install the relevant version for you. As far as I'm aware, GIMP works on all versions of Windows. I will put the link in the description to this video. The other thing you're going to need is YouTube's template. Now, there's a page here which you can get to from your channel art, which tells you how to create a piece of channel art. Okay, if you scroll down to the middle of the page, it tells you that you can download your channel art templates. If you click on this, it downloads a zip file, which I'm going to save. Actually, we just open it. And you need to copy this PNG file, to the desktop or somewhere safe. Okay, and I've already done that, so we're just going to close this and we'll minimize this. Like I say, I put the links to both pages in the description for the video. So when you've got GIMP installed, you need to start it, and it might come up in the undocked mode. I like to use it in the single window mode, and if you want to change it to look the same as mine, you just go to Windows and then choose single window mode. The way GIMP works is all the little subsections are dockable, and so you don't need to have them in your kind of drawing space, which is quite nice. But I actually get a little bit confused with it, so I just like to keep it all in one window, and you can change that, like I say, by going to Windows single window mode. The first thing we need to do is we need to create a template that's the right size for the YouTube channel art. So we're going to go to File, New, and it pops up this dialog, and I can move it to the middle of the screen so we can see it. Now, it gives you the choice of either choosing a template, which we're not going to do, but it also tells us how big we want the image to be. Now, one of the strange things about the YouTube channel art is it needs to cover a multitude of devices, so it's actually quite a large image. So you need to change this to 2560 by 1440. Like that. Oh, no, not like that. Like that. And then press OK. And what this will do, it will create us a template which is the right size. Okay. Now then, we need to learn a little bit about layers. Now, if you look over here on the top right, you should see the layer section, and we've currently got one layer called the background. If I click the little eye, you can see it disappears, and if I click it back on, you can see it's there. Okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to fill this with a fill. Now, we're actually going to use a blend. So this is the blend tool here, the one I've got highlighted, and we are going to click on this here to give us a list of blends, right? So we're going to choose blue green, and we're going to go from here all the way across, and it's going to fill that up with color. Okay, now you can obviously do whatever you want to fill in this background. What I've done is I've taken some screenshots from my different games that I've played on my channel and patched them together into a nice piece of kind of patchwork artwork which covers all the kind of game genres I like to play. You could have a photo here. Bear in mind it's going to be quite big. Okay, so we've got our background, which is great, but what we need to do is we need to put the channel title on, and so we're going to need to use some text. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to use File and do Open as Layers, and then we need to choose the PNG file that we extracted from the zip we downloaded earlier. Okay, we're going to load that. What that will do is it will overlay it across the background. Okay, if we want to get rid of it, we just go to the layers screen over on the right hand side and uncheck the eye, and it disappears. Now if you notice, the text and logo safe area is quite small in the middle. Okay, so we need to put some text into here. Now to do that, we're going to choose the text icon, which is up here, the text tool, and we are going to choose a different font. Now you can download fonts for your personal use from places like DA Font, which is where I get a lot of my fonts from, and we're just going to choose something like Courier, which everybody has. Okay, it's not very interesting, and you'll obviously want to do something a little bit different for your channel to make it stand out. We're just going to choose Courier. Okay, and then how the way the text tool works is you have to draw a box for the text to live in. So we're going to draw a box just by clicking and dragging, and we're going to leave in the text and logo safe area like that. Okay, so any text we see will fit into this box. We can stretch it up a little bit if we want to, but that's fine. Now we've got black text at the moment, so I'm going to actually change the color, and I'm going to make it stand out on the background by being white. Now if we type a letter, type U for Unshaped Adrian, you can barely see it. Okay, so we need to make it much bigger. So from 18 point, we're actually going to try making it 100 point and see what happens. To change the height, just select it by dragging across, changing the height, and then clicking somewhere else. Okay, we could probably go higher than that as well. Let's try 150. Okay, that's better. So now all our text is going to be in 150. So we're just going to type what we want. So this is my channel. So we're going to call it, oh, we don't want caps though. We're going to call it Unshaped Adrian. And my channel name is Plays, like that. Okay, so we've got the text there, and that's going to fit nicely in the area, but it's not very well formatted. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag over and highlight it, and then over here on the text window there are ways to justify it. Okay, so we're going to center it all, and that looks much nicer. The only problem with that, if you just click away, the only problem with that is it doesn't stand out very well. And I've just realized something that's going to cause us a problem in a minute. So if you click out, you'll lose your focus on the text. So just click back into the text window and you'll be back there. And actually we are going to make this text black, because otherwise it won't stand out against our background. Okay, let's choose black. Okay, and now, whoops, sorry, let's go there, choose black, and okay, and that's black. Now if we remove our YouTube guide and click away, we can see that stands out nicely. Okay, one of the things with GIMP is that it's not great for text manipulation, and if, say for instance, we wanted to highlight this text, we'd have to do that ourselves. There's no way to do it manually through the font editor. So we're going to try and do that as well. So what we're going to do to outline the text is we're going to select it all, and then we're going to right click on the selection and do path from text. Okay, then we're going to do layer, new layer, and we're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it text outline. Okay, when you create a new layer, you get a chance to fill it with different types. You normally want transparency, so that's what we're going to do. Click OK. And then you see we've got another layer over here. Now, we always need to, when you create a new layer, by default drops you onto that layer. So we need to make sure that one's highlighted so that we're working in that layer. And then we're going to go to select and choose select from path. And what that will do is that will select the text, but it selects it on our new layer rather than on the text layer. Okay. And then we're going to go to select and grow. And we're going to grow it by, let's just say 3 pixels all the way around. Okay. And you can see that's subtly larger now than the text. What we're going to do next is we're going to fill it with white. Now the fill tool is this one over here, the little paint pot. So let's click on that. And you need to choose here what type of fill you're going to use. You can use patterns and stuff, but we're just going to use flat colors. This color indicator here tells you what your foreground color and what your background color is. So we're just going to swap foreground and background. So our foreground is now white, and we're going to do a foreground color fill. And then we're going to click anywhere in here, and that's going to make all those letters white. Okay, which is obviously a bit daft because it's not highlighted; it's just overwritten our text to be typed in. However, never mind. First thing to do is do select and then none to remove the selection, and then go over to your layer window and choose the text layer, and then move it up one. And there we go. We've got our text now outlined really nicely, looking really good and giving it a little bit of pop. The last thing we need to do is we need to save this out in a sensible format to upload to YouTube. Now, I try to save all of my images in .png format. However, some sites have a restriction on the maximum size, and so PNG is quite a big file format. So you sometimes have to use JPG depending on the size of the file. One of the things we could do at this point is we could go over to our YouTube format guide here, this one that I'm going to show now, and we could delete that, but it's not really very sensible, because if you wanted to come back and change this or add a logo in somewhere, you need this information to help you understand exactly where the safe area is. So we're just going to make sure it's not shown by clicking on the right one, Adrian. So it's not shown. Okay. Now, 2 things we need to do here. First of all, we need to save this, and we need to save it as an XCF file. So I'm just going to go to my desktop. I'm going to call this youtube.xcf. Let's just type in there, youtube.xcf. Now this will retain all of the information that the GIMP program uses to create all the layers and stuff, so you'll never lose that. So save that as your base save, okay? And then what we need to do is we need to export. So once again, go to File, go to Export As, and by default it's come up and saying it's going to save it as PNG, which is fine. So we're going to try to do that. So let's just call it youtube.png and export, and it would default work out that you're trying to create a PNG file and output it in the right format. When you click on export, it will give you these options for exporting an image as a PNG. I always leave them as default and then click on export. Okay, and it will do the export, and it might be quite complicated. It's going to be quite a big file, this, because it's got this blend in it, and that's quite complicated. And actually, once it's exported, we're going to have a look and see how big it is, because there is a really big difference in the sizes between PNG files and JPG files. So just wait for that to export. There we go, it's nearly done. That's done, okay. And let's just go to desktop. And let's find our PNG file. So that's 2 megs, okay. To save it as a JPG, just do exactly the same. Export as, and change your extension here to .jpg. The program automatically understands what it needs to do to export that, and you see you get a different dialog here to export to. I always leave the quality at 90%. That seems to work out quite well, and do export. It should be much quicker, okay? And if we look in the desktop again, we can see that this is 150K in comparison to 2 meg. Now you can upload this to YouTube, and that will give you a nice banner. Now let me just try to show you why you need a banner. We're going to go to my YouTube channel, which is here and here, and this is what my channel looks like. We've got nice artwork here. Okay, if I change my channel to one of my other channels that I have set up, go to my channel, you can see it looks really, really unfortunately bad. And it's not a very good image for first-time visitors to your channel. So you need to have good channel art. And I've just shown you a really quick way with GIMP on how to do that. Hope that helps. I'll be back again soon with some more tutorials. Cheers.